Hey everyone, Laurel from Gellin' with Laurel, your independent distributor for Gel Woman as well as nail technician. Today we're going to do a tutorial on this set of nails. So just like any other manicure, you want to get your nails prepped up and ready to go. And to do that, you want to use your Gel Moment file. You're going to use the spongy side, which is the 220 grit, and you're going to just buff up your nail plates just a little bit to improve adhesion, and you use the rougher side to shape your nails. And then once you're done that, you want to use your cleansing pad to wipe off and get ready for your polish. So now we're ready to do our design. So we're going to be using the Peaches and Cream, which is the color of the month for May 2022. We're going to start the design by doing an ombre. I'm going to do the first layer in real time so you can see exactly how I do it, and then I'm going to speed it up because there's lighter colors. It takes about 4 layers to get the ombre just right. So I'll keep playing it, but I'll speed up the video doing the other layers just so it's not redundant, but then you can see the way that the layers add on, and you can see how the more layers that you put on, the more detailed it gets. So the first finger that I did was my thumb, and I only went 3/4 the way up. With my index or my pointer finger, I completely covered it with the Peaches and Cream for the base coat because I'm going to use that as an accent nail. So then the middle finger, my ring finger, and the pinky finger, I'm all going to do only 3/4 the way up. And then I'm going to do the tips with the white to have that creamsicle effect. So when you ombre with light colors, you want to make sure that you have super thin coats. I say that every time that I do an ombreing tutorial, but specifically with light translucent colors, you must have super thin coats. They have to be even, because if they're not even and you have a little bit of a thicker gel in some areas and some are thin, it's going to cure like that. And it's just going to look awful. And to do a proper ombre, it's going to take you like 10 layers instead of, 3 or 4. And it's just going to look like a mess on your nail. It's going to look bumpy and awful. And you can kind of see in the video here where I have it a little bit thick, but I was in a rush to try and get these done. So, yeah. Anyways. Moving on. So now we're using the Meet Me at the Chapel. Again, you can use Lovey Dovey. It's entirely up to you. I happen to have the Meet Me at the Chapel just sitting here. My Lovey Dovey's pretty empty, so to take it out of the bottle and put it on the pellets, I'll be here forever. So again, the lighter color is translucent. So the white, the Meet Me at the Chapel, and the Lovey Dovey are pretty translucent. So I have a little bit of stamping gel on this flat brush, and I am just dipping it into the Meet Me at the Chapel to get the gel and stamping gel kind of mixed together so it has a nice consistency. It moves a lot easier. It's not stuck to the nail. You don't want to put straight stamping gel on your nail plate. Just putting gel polish on it, it's too translucent. You would have to do a lot of coats to make this work. So just do yourself a favor and mix a little bit of stamping gel. You can put it right on the palette. I just happen to have some on my flat brush already from doing my other set on my left hand here, so it's just easier to for me to use the flat brush right now instead of mixing it on the palette, because it's technically already, and you don't need a lot, you just need a little bit to mix in with that gel polish. So next step is using your fan brush, your mini fan brush in the Gel Moment set, and you are going to do a little bit of an ombre. So I find it a little bit easier to always drag the lighter color into the darker color and then pull the darker color out. Now, having said that, most of the time My lighter colors are always at the tip of my nail, the free edge of the nail, and my darker colors are always back towards the cuticle or the matrix. So I don't know if I would do it the same way if it was backwards and I had a dark at the tip, but I don't know if I ever would do that, just because, I don't know, I just think that the lighter should always be at the free edge of the nail. I don't know, that's me. What do you guys think? What do you do? Do you put the dark at the tip or a lighter one at the tip? Anyways, so what you need to do here is grab your fan brush, and we're going to just tap, 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 slightly tap and drag and mix that white color down into the peaches and cream. And we're just going to blend it a little bit. I mean, you could drag it back a little bit further. It depends on how much white you want at that tip. I only want about a quarter of the tip showing with the white, so I'm dragging it back just a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of drag and tap the peaches and cream up into the white to blend it. So you're basically blending the white into the orange color and then the orange color back into the white color. You will have dips and valleys and a little bit of hill in your first couple of ombres. It's pretty much inevitable unless you're using an air gun. An airbrush gun will definitely give you better results. A sponge can give you better results as well, but if you use a sponge, it's gel. Sponges soak up gel polish big time. So it's up to you if you want to waste all your gel in a sponge or if you just want to use a fan brush. And of course, make sure that you watch out for these little linty guys. Now, if you use a sponge to do the ombreing, make sure that you use tape to get off all of the lint and any kind of little sponges that might be hanging off of the actual sponge, or else you're going to have a headache and you're going to be picking stuff out of your gel polish. I think I have a tutorial on using a sponge for ombreing. If I don't, I will try to get one up for you guys. Using a sponge is actually quite awesome, but like I said, it's just you use a lot of gel doing it because the sponge soaks up the gel quite a bit. So I'm using the 70% alcohol to clean out my brushes. So ombreing, it's important to keep your brush clean. So when it starts getting full of polish, you want to make sure it's clean. So just use the 70% alcohol and give it a wipe on whatever you're using, paper towel, your lint-free wipe here like I have. Usually I use Blue Industrial, but I ran out, so I need to get some more. These nails are really cool. They are so bright, like I can't believe how bright they are. They catch a lot of people's attention. So if you're looking for some attention on your nails, try this set out. Okay, so now time for the high speed. We want to make sure that we get through this because there are a couple of layers, like I said. So the second layer, you just want to make sure that you cover pretty much the same area that you did in the first layer. Make sure you cap, well, in this particular instance, we're only capping the one index finger because you need to cap with the white on the other fingers that are being ombreed. But make sure that you definitely cap to make sure that you get all of those oils and dirt and whatever else that might want to get in between your nail plate and the gel polish. You definitely want to keep that out. Another great thing about using a flat brush, if you mixed it on a palette, the gel polish and the stamping gel, using the flat brush here, you're not going to get any white back into your white gel polish bottle. So if you're concerned about mixing the two, definitely grab one of the flat brushes out of the creativity set and you are good to go and completely safe. And same as before, you're just going to ombre the white into the orange and then the orange into the white. And if you look, when I'm using the fan brush, when I get to the sides, I just kind of tilt the brush a little bit so it gets down into the sides without making a mess. Because if you leave the fan brush flat on the top of your nail plate, you're just going to get the brush and the gel polish down the sides of your skin. So if you just tilt it a little bit, it emits a huge amount of mess for yourself. Now I'm loving these nails. Now I could have edited this out, but look at them. They're so pretty. And I'm not a like light pink or orangey, you know, springy color kind of girl, but I really like this set. I think it stands out quite well. And while we're watching the next layers get applied, I just wanted to take a moment out to thank all of the subscribers that I currently have and any subscribers that I may have in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. If you didn't watch my videos, I wouldn't be making them and I wouldn't be showing you this lovely creamsicle set. Like I said earlier, I really, really like this set. It's not often that I'm like, wow, over a set. And, you know, these are just so darn cute. And I think it would be even better. They would stand out even more if you had a darker skin tone. I am pretty white, so definitely not darker skin tone. So if anybody tries this set that has a darker skin tone or are really tanned, you know, post a picture of your set in the comments, or even if you're not, you know, darker skin tone, you know, go ahead, post a picture in the comment. So that was me just saying I'm going to do one more coat to make this set to my satisfaction. And then we will begin with getting the artwork done on the accent nail. And again, a big thank you to all my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, and join the rest of us. So on my index finger here, I'm just going to throw some sparkling Moscato over top the already cured peaches and cream. I'm going to do my last ombre on all of my fingers here. And I don't think I mentioned before, in between each layer, I am doing a full cure. You have to do a full cure when you have a full layer of gel polish on your fingers. So with Gel Moment, it's 45 seconds for the professional and the deluxe lamp, and 60 seconds for the mini lamp. So now this whole set has came out of the lamp with its full cure. So now I'm just going to top it off with some Clearly Frisky. And for all of you people that just enjoy Gel Moment being a one-step gel polish and you don't think that you need the Clearly Frisky in your arsenal, think again. You need the top coat. The top coat levels things out. It fills in the voids of any type of nail art. If you want to do, well, you know what? If you just do one color and that's all you do, then you don't need the top coat. The top coat isn't a must. But if you're watching this video, that means you like nail art and you need Clearly Frisky. You need to add Clearly Frisky. So make sure you get Clearly Frisky. So here I'm just adding one more coat of the sparkling Moscato. I only did one coat on my other hand, my left hand, and it doesn't seem very sparkly. It's almost like I didn't even put it on. So I'm trying to do 2 coats here just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. And now I am grabbing the small liner brush out of the Creativity set. It is loaded with the stamping gel / Meet Me at the Chapel that I have on the palette. So I'm just making a C right in the middle of my nail. Kind of like the C that the teachers used to do. Well, I don't know if it's all across the board, but in British Columbia, my teacher, when I was younger, did a little C for correct or corrected, and that's pretty much what I think about when I do this C for the middle part of the rose, the bud part of the rose. And then after you get the first one down, then you're just going to make basically, I don't know, you can call them C's, but I think I would rather call it like a bracket, you know, like a smiley face on the keyboard. And then you just want to sporadically, well, not sporadically, you want to kind of surround the bud, and you kind of want to overlap them a little bit. So when you end one, you kind of want to overlap at the top, and so, you know what, almost like dominoes, I guess that's the best way that I could say it. So it's, you know, they're laying on top of each other, kind of, and you don't want them to touch, you just want them to overlap. So yeah, think of dominoes, how dominoes, if you hit them and they lay on each other, if you know, give them a flick and they all fall down, that's kind of the way that you're doing this rose, but you're making a curved line as you're doing it. And when you lay down, you want to be very light at the beginning so you have a point, and then give it a little bit of a flick at the end so it also has a point. And if you know, if you are heavy-handed and you kind of put a big blob down, that's okay. You can lift it up and you can turn it around, and you can go from the middle of the line that you already have on your nail and kind of give it a flick backwards. I don't know if I've done it here so I can kind of point that out to you or not. I don't think I did in this rose, but I'm sure that you understand what I mean. If it's, you know what, and even if you don't understand what I mean, you could wipe it all off and you can start again, because everything underneath the nail, underneath this rose, I should say, is all cured. So it's okay to grab a cleansing wipe and just wipe it right off, or rubbing alcohol if you have that. And now I'm using this rubbing alcohol to use it to bloom out the rose. So basically I've saturated my liner brush with the rubbing alcohol. Now I don't have a whole bunch on, because if you put too much on your brush, then it's just going to spread all over your nail and it's going to ruin the rose. So basically I put some onto the brush. So I'm going to clean it. I'm going to put some on. But it's just very light amount, very small amount. If you have a ball hanging off of the tip of your brush, you have too much rubbing alcohol on. You just want it enough to wet the brush. And then basically all you're doing is putting the brush on the outer edges of the petal. You don't want to do the inside of the petal, because you want the inside of the petal to have that solid line to make it, stand out. You want that line to be very dominant, and you want the outer part of the petals to bloom out just like a real flower. Now, if you put too much rubbing alcohol on and it does, bloom out too much, or you meld the lines, you can always add more lines, or you can try to clean them up by adding more solid lines, up to you. And then once you're done, you give it a cure. And then once the cure is complete, then you top it off with Clearly Frisky to protect that design. Now, like I said before, the design doesn't look quite right or quite finished until you finish it off with Clearly Frisky. And like I just did there, make sure that you cap it off, because it's your last coat. You always want to make sure your top coat's capped off. And this is just a little tip for you. You can use the cuticle oil that we have from the Nail Spa collection. I always just put a little bit on my thumb here, or on part of my hand, and I saturate. So I clean my brushes with acetone, and then I clean them with rubbing alcohol to get the acetone out of them, and then I put the cuticle oil on my brushes. My brushes are pretty much brand new. They are perfect. It gets all the stamping gel out, all the gel polish. The rubbing alcohol takes care of the acetone, and then the cuticle oil protects the bristles. And then finish off with cuticle oil on your nails for good nail health. And there you go. There is our set. What do you think, guys? Would you try doing this set? If you replicate it, like I said, put it in the comments below. Let me see your set. If there's any other sets that you would like me to put a tutorial up for, please, again, comment, let me know. If you are following me, I am moving in the next couple of months, so we're working on that, so I'm a little bit slow on the videos, so my apologies, but please stick with me, follow me. I will have more coming up once I get situated in the new home. So there you go, peaches and cream, meet me at the chapel, sparkling Moscato, and the Clearly Frisky for the top coat. We also used the Nail Spa Green Tea Zen, and I didn't show it, but we also used the white stamping gel mixture with the Meet Me at the Chapel. We used the flat brush, a fan brush, and the liner brush for this set. Here is the nail set. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.